mean, if you had it, you already have it. Just got my stuff. Easy. Nice ash skin. 1 minute. 10 seconds. Let's go.
Oh shit, infinite.
Like the start of the stream. Wait 30 minutes.
Hey Raleigh, and everyone watching the Siege Major. My name is Caitlin, I'm your panel host, and this is Operation Ember Rise. Now let's get started by watching this quick video by Ubisoft News.
Bro, she's sweating so hard. She's sweating so hard.
Operation Ember Rise is bringing that super hot fire to Rainbow Six Siege with 2 new operators and a newly reworked map. The defender bringing the heat is Goyo, who can use his Vulcan shields to create strategic cover points, deny entry to the attacking team, and serve up the occasional operator flambe. The attacker rising to the challenge is Amaru. Her Gara hook can quickly zip her up to rooftops, exterior windows, open hatches, and skylights.
We already knew that
We've
one.
got the details you need to know about the new operators,
It
as
looks
well as
so
a tour
glitched.
of the newly
It looks
reworked
so
canal
unnatural.
map. First up is Goyo. This operator from
Looks
Mexico's
like
FES unit is a savvy tactician who
Okay.
can rapidly deploy his
So
Vulcan
he has
shields to
mirror weapon,
stymie
that's great.
incoming attackers.
That's a nice one.
The Vulcan shield shares all the
And
attributes
that's
of a deployable shield,
IQs?
including the new look
Or
and
what
the
is
new
this?
snap to doorways feature, but the Vulcan shield has a surprise. Anytime Goyo, his teammates,
Capital.
or even the attacking team sets off the incendiary core attached to the back of a Vulcan shield, there's a small explosion, followed by a prolonged, oh my god, it's
Nice
all on
weapons.
fire effect
Yes,
that you definitely don't want to
SMG
try
11.
running through. The explosion can be triggered by damaging
everyone
the core
is in
directly
chat is
or destroying the
crying
shield
because they
entirely.
recycled
So
the
Goyo
weapons.
doesn't
How
necessarily have to
stupid
stick
are
around
they?
and
They
be the
said
one to
it
set it
last
off.
time,
In fact,
but there
this
are
medium speed,
there
medium
won't be
armor
any
operator
new
can
weapons
be
at all.
quite deadly
So
while
what
either
are they
roaming
crying
with his
about?
Vector
Crying
45
about?
ACP or
They
hunkering
already
down
said
with
that.
TCSG-12 shotgun. If things go bad, his shields are still a threat even
I
after
like
he's
the
been killed,
icons.
especially
Like
when
this
paired
hand.
with a Capcan trap.
And this, I don't know, raindrop on the
But
mountain.
the threat goes both ways.
Whatever.
While Thatcher's
I guess it's a
EMP
Vulcan.
grenades and Twitch's drone can't disable the incendiary core, and
That's
IQ
good.
can't detect it, the
That's
Vulcan
not-
shield
That's
is
good.
still
So
a
it's
deployable
not
shield at heart,
harmful, so you-
meaning it can be destroyed, and the explosion triggered by a frag
That's
grenade
That's useless
or
if
Ash's
you don't
breaching
have a
round.
shield.
You could also use
Yeah.
Zophia's impact grenade or Sledge's hammer. This
And
is
die
fine.
immediately.
Yeah.
On top of that,
Nice.
anyone with a clear line of sight to the incendiary core can set it off, meaning a
That's a
poorly
good
placed
strat.
Vulcan shield can work against the defending team. The goal with Goyo is to leverage the power of the Vulcan
Why would
shield
you-
and deny entry to enemies at critical
Why would you
moments,
sit
or
behind his
simply buy
shield?
your team some
No one
time
would
early
do
on.
that.
When the attackers are pushing, or when the round is coming to an end, trigger your Vulcan shields to keep them away from the
I
objective
like
or
this
cover your
that an
flank.
attacker
A
has
well-timed
mirror's
Vulcan
weapon.
explosion
That's
can be
great.
the difference
Yeah.
between lighting up
But
a
why is
scoreboard
this?
or going down
Why
in
is he
flames.
playing with Ripper? Oof, that hip fire.
While Goyo seeks to impede
What
the
is this
movement of his
weapon?
enemies,
Is
the
this
Peruvian attacker
IQ's
Amaru
SMG?
can get around the map like no operator before. This is her Gara hook,
What is
and
that?
it lets her zip to any repellable ledge or window to quickly
Yeah.
position herself where defenders aren't
looks-
expecting her.
Yeah.
And once she's inside the building, the Gara hook lets her travel up through open
I don't know
hatches
about
and
this map.
skylights. That's a
Kinda
first
looks
for
like-
Rainbow Six Siege, and
I don't
defenders
know.
will have to adjust
So
their
big.
strategy accordingly or pay the price.
It looks
When
like
it
an
comes to
Overwatch
choosing your
map.
destination, the
Yeah,
Gara
it's
hook makes
new-
it easy, clearly
Hamburg.
showing what it can
Yeah, I know,
or
but it
could
looks like an
grapple to.
Overwatch map.
You can't
Look at
grapple
it.
to something
Yeah.
that's too
Pretty
far
kinda.
away or too far below your position, but you can use the hook for horizontal traversal.
But
as
I mean,
long
it,
as you're
it looks
entering a
better,
window.
I think.
Once inside a building, you can't target
It looks
anything
more
but
high-tech,
open
I mean,
hatches and
more-
skylights.
Modern.
While the hook will instantly break a wooden barricade
Of
on a
course.
window, a castle barricade will prevent you from even targeting it.
Bruh.
And a closed hatch will need to be opened before you
What
can
is
ascend
this?
through it. Amaru's Supernova or
She has a shotgun
IPA-12S
with
shotguns will come in handy
the
if defenders
suppressor?
leave those hatches
Yeah.
unreinforced.
Oof.
This makes Gara Hook
So
entry
mirror
a bit
shotgun and
noisy,
mirror's gun.
so team communication
You can rush
and good
so
droning are all
hardcore.
the more valuable.
IQ's
doesn't pull her
LMG,
gun up
Mirror's,
until landing from the
primary,
grapple, so she's completely
Mirror's
vulnerable to
shotgun,
Capcan and Frost traps.
The
lying in
SMG
wait.
11, that's great.
Not to mention any defenders who may
I
have heard
like.
her entry coming. Operators who can give her a quick buff, like
Bruh.
Finka, or use their gadgets to distract defenders, like Ying or
Get
Doki,
aim,
are strong
bruh.
pairings for Amaru. But with medium speed, medium armor, and a G8A1 LMG in her hands, Amaru is a well-rounded and very
This
mobile
map already
force to
looks
be reckoned with.
way too open.
All this
too many
action has been
angles.
taking
Yeah.
place on the
Too
newly
many
reworked
rooms.
canal map. The map is still split between two buildings, but an additional bridge has been
Yeah, what
added
the
to
heck?
increase building-to-building movement options.
I think
There are
it's
fewer
for
windows around
newcomers.
objective
Buildings.
sites,
Newcomers
and the
very
rooftops have
very
been
difficult to
reconfigured to make
go in.
runouts more
I don't know,
on the
but
map.
and additional
This
staircases
is the
and
biggest
color
map
coding
yet,
throughout both buildings
maybe.
have been
Maybe.
added for more rotation
know.
options and
Because it
easier
looks
callouts.
gigantic.
The reworked canal map will
And
be
Hamburg
free
is
for all
already
players
not
when Operation
small.
Ember Rise launches. The two new operators, Goyo and Amaru, will be immediately available for Year 4 pass holders, and all other players can unlock them 7 days later
That's
with
great, I
renown or
like it.
R6 credits. For more on Rainbow Six Siege, subscribe to this channel and visit
But I
us
love
at
the mirror gun. So,
news.ubisoft.com.
nice one. Oh, I think
Now, to talk about Operation Ember Rise, I am joined
Get
by
him.
Senior Level Designer Jeremy Dowsett, as well as Presentation Director Alex Kaprasis. Now that we are in the field, we back here at a major.
It's beautiful, it's sunny out, it's a great time to talk about Season 3.
And we will be saving all of your operator intel for the second half of the panel, as usual. And Jeremy, any interesting run-ins with
Nice.
bourbon and barbecue?
There's been a few run-ins with barbecue, pretty much every night. The food here is amazing. Just everyone I've met is so lovely to talk to. It's such a great place to be.
All right, well, let's get started with your map, which is the Canal rework. This is the latest rework to come, the last one being Cafe. And this is one of the original maps of Siege. Now, Canal has not been available in the ranked playlist for almost 2 years, so since September 2017. So many of you will be happy to know that with this rework, Canal will be coming back to ranked.
That's correct. We've gone through top to bottom on this map, and
Bruh.
we've totally reworked it. Obviously,
Even
adding a
more
new bomb
maps.
site makes it
I don't know where
ranked
we already
compatible.
have,
But you know,
especially
if we talk about the problems with the map, you know, we've gone through, we've re-looked at
Bruh.
navigation, we've
You
looked
have
at
to run
sound,
like 8
we've looked at
maps?
lighting.
12?
It's gonna feel like a
I don't
comfy
know
pair
how
of
many there
slippers,
are,
but it
no.
has, you know, a new spice to it,
Not-
that's for sure.
So first, let's compare it to the Cafe rework to get kind of a scope of this project. Because of course, since we haven't seen Canal and ranked so much for so long, presumably it would have required a more thorough overhaul. And you worked on this for 9 months,
I want
almost a
to know
year.
It
something
was about 9
more
months worth
about
of work.
Operation
The team and I started
Rainbow
working
Six
on
Siege
it
campaign, Rainbow Six
around
campaign.
Paris Major time last year. So
Yeah,
it's
but it
been
won't
9
leak
months
anything.
of looking at the map, taking it apart, and obviously trying to fix all of the issues with it.
I
So
love
speaking
the
about
map
the issues, let's start
because
breaking
it's
those
new.
down. Now, the most
I
obvious
love
problem
it.
that
As
Canal
a art
has was
style.
the choke points.
Is it
Yeah.
Now
more
is
modern?
one building to the
you know?
east,
Futuristic,
one to the
modern,
west,
yeah.
and
Looks
before
great.
there was just one bridge connecting both buildings. How
Yeah,
is this
no,
The
it's-
only
possible?
thing is that
The
it's
first thing we did
very
is we
big.
added a bridge
You-
off of control
from
room,
the
which now
first
gives a new rooftop
glance,
access
you
as
have
well. So you have
many
two bridges. You have
angles,
the original bridge
like
still in the
from
same
every
place
you
that
have
as
20
it
rooms
always
on
has
every
been,
side,
and then there's a new
and
bridge
that it's
one
split
floor up,
into
so
buildings.
that aids in the
I don't
rotation.
really know if
The
I
other
like
thing
that.
we did is we went through and we added
It's a
stairs.
new map,
We know
like,
that two
I
sets
mean,
of
we
stairs or two
did
flights
not
of stairs
have
are always
this
much better
before,
than one
like
flight of
a map
stairs.
where you
So
have
we've
two
added
buildings.
an extra set of stairs into both buildings.
At least not.
So now each building
But I mean, I like
has
that
two stairs,
that they
and
added.
of course the choke point has
I don't know
been
if
pretty
it
opened
is
up in the middle.
if it is
what's happened
another
now
ranked
is
match,
when you
a
go
ranked
and
map.
play and
Yes,
obviously
it
comes
is.
out
They
soon,
said it.
it's
Okay.
much more of a
So
roamer-friendly
that's-
map,
so
and the
that's
rounds
why-
play
That's why
an
I
awful
say
lot
that
more
it's-
differently than they
I
used
don't
to,
know if
because
it's
the
too
way
much.
the rounds played was
We have too many
people
maps
would wait
on
till the
ranked
last
now.
minute and then they would basically just rush in and smoke. or
Especially
whatever.
from new
So
combo.
now what you're going to find
This
is
will
people
be
are
not
clearing
bad.
the building. They're
We'll
actually
see.
going because they
I
can
like
actually
that they
get
have
to
no
the
bars
objective
anymore.
rather than
That's
waiting
great.
outside.
All right,
hate
and then we should
bars.
also talk about the other elephant in the room, which was the
Look at
spawn
this.
peaks.
This is
One of
more,
your
I don't
favorite
know,
things
more
to address.
different than
Yeah,
usual
after
windows, or,
the,
for example.
the closet
Yeah.
window
More
in Villa sprint.
I like
More
that
credi-
the staircase
credibility.
Towards fountains. I
love
learned
it.
from that one
Best
quite well. So
adding
what
ever.
we've done is we've gone through.
Look
and
at
we've
this,
looked
I mean,
all of
this
the
was-
run-outs
bruh.
and the run-out possibilities.
Yeah.
And we
No.
made sure that anyone
The
that
new
wants to
windows,
run out
new
will be
windows,
detected
and
before
this
they get
looks
to
so
the edge of the
cool,
roof.
like,
in most
kind of
cases.
like a
So if you really have your heart set on running out, you
airport.
still can.
Like
It'll
an
be
airport
detected, so it
tower,
turns
I
into
don't
more of a
know.
1v1
Yeah.
scenario.
It's yeah, it still can be
it
done. You know,
looks
yesterday we were
different
playing with a
than-
bunch of the creators,
than-
and you know, they
than
will
other
run
maps.
out on you, and
Has
they
this
did. But you know, if
credibility,
it becomes
I
a
mean,
one-on-one,
it's unique.
it's possible, but it's dangerous.
ways.
Right, so
To
it's a
shine
little bit
out, I
more
mean.
skill, which
Look
I
at
think
this,
is
it was
what
very
you're
pretty
going for.
boring.
Yes.
No.
Alright, awesome. And then of course, as
Different
you mentioned,
angles,
you now also
different
received a lot of the same upgrades
bars.
that the cafe rework had, which
They
is
said
like
there is
sound
one bridge,
propagation,
but on the other side was
destruction is
another
a lot more
bridge.
clear now, lighting updates as well.
So I guess there are
the team
two,
went
but
through
one
and
is
did an amazing
covered,
job. The art team
like,
especially going through
there's a
and
roof, the other
colour
one
coding,
not.
the stairs. The sound team did a great job because it is a big map.
Sound
There's
team?
a lot of
Maybe you
doorways and
can't
windows.
access the
So
other,
we went through and we touched everything. There's a lot of
bridge.
line of
These
sight floors now, so you
uniforms,
can
there's
play
something, you
the,
know, you can
defend
explore.
from below, so
It's
actually
more-
really quite fun, and it's
I like
more
the
realistic.
operators, I like the abilities,
enjoyed playing
they
it.
seem
I guess in your
interesting.
words, that our team actually went rogue.
Yeah.
I hate
we
that
had a
they
re-
have
they
no,
didn't say they went
no
rogue. Yeah, they
weapons.
went rogue. So what happened
Yeah,
is,
but
as we've changed
They
metrics
said
over
that
the
they are
seasons,
not going
basically
to
we
add
had to
any new
move
ones,
all
so
of the walls by 5
you
centimeters.
can't
That
expect
means
new
they had
guns
to touch the shell
when they-
anyway.
This year.
Bruh,
Whilst they were
there are
reaching for
guys-
the shell, they just
they
went
said-
for a
Never
really
mind,
high
never mind,
thematics
I-
for the buildings,
I-
and it looks absolutely superb.
And so we'll
No,
see
no,
when
no,
we're
but
going
Never-
to
there are
never-
guys
when
in
a
chat
wall's
that,
destructible.
for example,
Not only
said
does it look destructible,
that
but there are
these
those
guns are
markings on the ground,
trash.
just for
I
anyone
would
who's new to
not
the
say
game
that these
or
guns
has
are
kind
trash.
of
These guns are
issues
very
about
good.
looking for destructibility.
Mirror's gun is nice.
So
I hate the IQ.
I
hate the IQ.
Every
Yeah,
single
the
box
IQ
set
one is
on Canal.
not that
And
great,
we're gonna
but
start with the second
I guess you
floor.
have two
So are you ready
options.
to go through the entire map, Jeremy?
I'm good to go.
Okay, let's go.
All right. So again, we're
They
starting
have
on the
two,
second floor.
seven.
The objective here is server radar. We're going to be
Radar,
spawning in at
seven.
Sailboat, which is to the south, and we're going to be going straight there.
Looks interesting.
So the spawn points in this map haven't actually changed at all. So there's still the 3 major spawn points: sailboats, floating docks, and construction. There's new art assets, nothing too serious, but there is some new stuff to block lines of sight. We're going to go in through reception. What people would notice with reception is we've actually changed the rotation of the desk, so it actually aids in navigation. And if you look sneakily to the left, archives is much wider now as well. The original bridge is still off to the right, and this is blue corridor, and you can see the markings that are on the floor to show you where the destructible walls are.
This is
Go
nice.
through, and you're going
This
to
is
come
nice.
up a new area, which is printer stairs, which is a new rooftop access. And this access, on the right, is there's a window, and then you have the new tunnel that goes to control room.
Oh, it
Now,
reminds me of
control
Call
room
of
radar
Duty.
used to be
Bro,
kind
to
of.
learn this
massive,
again.
Plant zone. What we've done is we've actually split it
I
down.
guess we have to
Renovations are
play
still
one-
there. I know people
one
love
or two
renovations
times.
on the soft wall. So the plant zone is actually much smaller, so people have to commit. All of the blue walls here are destructible. Then you're into red corridor, going towards green stairs, and then
Green
you're going into
stairs, red
server.
corridor.
Now,
Okay.
server used to have the corridor around it. We removed it
Um,
because it
we
was
have to learn the
you get
codes.
confused. So the bomb sites are side by side. You can blow the walls and have a lot of rotation. It's line of sight, and there's 3
But I mean,
hatches
you
in
don't
this
have to
area.
learn red corridor.
So this
You could
objective
just say
especially,
corridor,
it used to
I
kind
mean,
of feel like sitting in a glass aquarium for the defenders. There were a lot of windows that opened up directly onto the site, but we don't see any of that now.
Basically, when we go through and we start iterating upon the map, we shut down all of the
Did
windows.
you have
so
a
the first
tattoo?
thing we did on this map is we shut the windows, and then bit by bit we opened them. Obviously, like you say, you felt like you're in an aquarium. The gameplay is still there because that's the flavor of the
Chat
map. You still
dimensional
can
tattoo.
actually snipe from the rooftop, but the field of view and the angles now is actually much, much finer, so you need to really time your shots.
Runouts are harder, sniping's harder, it's more skillful.
Yes.
All right, so now let's move down to the first floor. There are 2 objectives here. There is one to the west, which is Coast Guard Mini Lounge, and then there is one to the east. I have that backwards. There's one to the east, and no, I have that right. Okay.
It's maps and
Yeah,
security.
we're going to maps and security, and we're going to go up to the second floor first, and then we're going to go down to the first floor.
So maps and security had maps hasn't really changed too much, but it's people will recognize it. Construction, everyone's going to remember, it hasn't actually changed all that much. There's a few new props, but the path is still the same from the spawn points. You'll see the nice new red
It
stairs
kinda
that are
reminds me of
covered
an
to stop
indie
people
game.
come running down and
I don't know
doing
why.
early kills. You will get detected by the time you're at the bottom. You come in through construction entrance, and then we have the entrance, and if you go hard
So
right,
this
you'll
is
go into
Amaru,
green stairs,
yeah,
back up to
okay.
server again. Now, what's really nice about this is with the stairs and the walls, it's really easy to call out, and it's actually much easier for people to navigate because it's just cleaner and much nicer for the players. You blow the hatch and you can drop straight into security. Now with security, if you remember, there used to be a locker room. That's changed. We've put a door through now, so you can actually go between the two bomb sites, between maps and security. And then the kitchen is still off on the right hand side. You'll notice there is actually a window in projector just to the side, so you can still get shot at from the roof or across the buildings. And obviously there's a window in kitchen if you want to try and come through.
Right, and so this is an objective that's been changed, so now you have to commit when you go onto the site.
You really need to get through the door, and
the whole
it's one
chat
of the sites
is
where you're going to
full
find that you
of
can
guys
actually defend
complaining
it
about the
remotely,
weapons.
and I think we'll see a lot of that being
I know.
Alright, so
They
let's go
said
on
it
to
like
the other
50
objective on the
times
first
that
floor,
they're not
to the
going
west.
to add weapons.
We're actually going to
Why
spawn
is
in
everyone
construction
complaining?
again, so this is a bit of a
I'm
longer
also
route to
complaining.
take.
I don't
And
like.
instead of going up to the second floor
hate this
first,
idea.
I
and
would
then
also
working our way
like
down,
new
we're
guns,
going to
but
go from the
they are
basement.
not going to add any
So,
new guns. Why
everyone
were they
remembers
not
This
complaining
year.
then when they
This
a
year.
number of
said it?
significant
Why are they
changes to this,
complaining now?
this area.
This
but
year, we don't
it's still
know
gonna
about the
feel
other
quite
years.
familiar. So,
Yeah.
Or the
Royal
next
Coast Guard
year.
again,
Yeah,
you can
this
obviously
year
see
is
the
long.
wonderful submarines that are docked there.
No,
You come
we have
through,
already.
The route we're going to take
Yeah,
is
these
we're going to
operators
go
are
down
still
into
in this
garage.
year.
Garage is now
Is it
external
year
rather
three?
than being
It's already
internal,
year 3.
with the doorway to the red stairs on the left-hand
It's
side.
already
so this
is
is now, you know,
season
a place
3.
where the defenders can't
Year
go, so we've
4,
closed it up a
season
little
3.
bit. Obviously, we're underneath the new bridge. You can see the windows that go up into football, and we're going to go into lockers. Lockers hasn't changed a great deal. Everyone will remember it, and it goes through to showers. You go up the hatch with Amaro's hook, and then you're straight into football. Half of this room is
But I
destructible
like
floor,
that they
half of
add
it
new,
isn't. There's a lot of
new
destructible
guns. I
walls.
would
Then you
just
come across blue
like them
corridor
balancing
into
them, making them
Coast Guard meeting.
not
Everyone will
too
remember the
powerful, like
145-degree wall that's actually in the map, which
for
is the
example,
split
Twitch's
between the
gun.
two, which is the
I would
split
just
between the two
balance
rooms.
every
Go
gun.
through complete
I
line
would
of
like
sight
to
floor
make
here,
them,
and then what people will notice is
I don't
archives
know,
has changed. It's much wider. There's a breakable
fix some
wall,
glitches
and there's a double
and
door, so
such
it's
things.
less of a choke if you're actually going to try and attack from archives. It's still hard, but you can do it.
Nice. So still, once again, it's skillful.
Yes.
And we also saw Amaro's gadget being used there, as you mentioned, coming up through the hatch, which makes defending this site kind of tricky because now you have to decide if you want to reinforce those hatches, which limits your rotations.
It's a choice that people will learn, and they'll actually, the strats will evolve over time. Obviously, with you having to reinforce hatches, you know, you make a decision. If someone's staying anchored in the bomb site, you can cover the hatch. You're going to hear it get blown, so it's not so bad, but it does change the strats a little bit for sure.
All right, so let's move on to the last objective then, and this is in the basement. Now, the basement never had an objective before. Of course, this brings the total number to 4, making it ranked playlist compatible. For this one, we're going to start by spawning in the northwest at Floating Dock, and we are going to make use of a new tunnel to get on site.
Ah, the tunnel, yes. So this area's changed
To
quite
say
a
the
lot.
least,
Everyone
it
remember
looks
Coast Guard suppliers. It
great.
hasn't changed. It looks exactly the same, but we've rejigged a little bit.
Be my
When you
favorite
start a
map.
floating dock, you now go up right. There's a
All
path that
maps.
goes
Yeah,
leads
if
up to
you
the car park.
learn
You
it,
can drop down
Is
into
it one too
Oh, submarine.
Forklift Alley.
big,
There's a
won't
new tunnel that goes all the
leave
way
too
through to the car
many
park as well.
opportunities for
And
the
all of this has been
roamers.
completely reworked. So you've got the
Then
blue
it's-
shell.
then I
you've
think
got
it will
diving
be a
alcove, and
great
what we're
map.
about to do is jump into
'Cause
diving,
it
which
looks
is a new
nice
room.
and it's
In the far
open,
right-hand corner behind the scuba
and the spots
gear,
don't
there's
look
the set of
too
stairs that leads
unbalanced,
all the
at
way up to
least,
printer. So it goes yellow stairs, blue
from
stairs,
the
up into printer.
things
You have
we
a
see
tunnel
now.
that comes all the way from diving, all the way through to in between showers.
That's
So
cool.
if you're getting pinched, you can drop into the tunnel, but you have to be
Nice
careful
mechanic.
because obviously defenders or attackers everyone can use it. You come through bathroom, into the basement corridor, and then you're into boat supplies. This will look very familiar to people because it hasn't changed all that much. Obviously there's a bomb hatch there, and we go into kayaks, which is a new room and a new bomb site, which is really good. The white walls are all destructible, so we've color coded that. And then you have diving, so you've got a lot of
Kind of looks like
options.
kitchen on the stairs.
The site plays really interesting because everyone tries to use the same old strategy. You know, there's always a firefight on white stairs, which is quite fun. But now it changes because there's different options.
So from your testing, is the tunnel more advantageous for attackers or for defenders?
It's really a 50-50 because it's a risk versus reward, to be honest. Because there's a ladder and it does leave whoever uses it, they're going to be prone when they're coming out of the ladder, so that they can get attacked quite quickly. I find it really
hate
useful when you're
such
getting
things.
pinched and you're
If you
playing
don't know
lockers
if
and you want to just
to
get out and
reinforce
rotate
hedge or not.
straight back down to diving.
Alright,
Why
well,
don't
thank you so
they
much,
just
Jeremy,
make
for
it
walking us through the
so
canal
that there's
rework.
kind of
Again, I'm sure
like
many
a
people are going
ramp
to be very
or
happy to know that this
stairs,
map is
no
coming back to
ladder at
ranked.
all?
I hope
This would
it's always a very
balance
nervous time for the dev team.
tunnel out,
I
but
really hope
nope,
that
we're
the
not
community
going to
loves
do.
it, and I'm sure that
Why though?
even though I've tried to
Because
stop
you
all of the
can
spawn
just
peaks, I'm
jump
sure that someone's going to find
jump
one somewhere. But
in without
that's the beauty of the
using the
community. They
ladder.
always learn, and I learn from them.
Well,
Yeah, I
you'll be
know,
able to
you
play
can
the
jump
new
in,
canal
but
rework starting tomorrow,
if you
Monday,
crawl
August
or you
19th
try
on the test
to
server.
go up,
So get out there and make Jeremy and his team proud.
you-
And now we will move on to the 2 new operators of the season. Now these operators are unlike any ones that have been released before because they really encourage player creativity and you can play them how you
And
really
new
want
bugs.
to. Now by this what I
New
mean is that with
bugs, new
Amaru,
glitches.
you can attack
Hmm.
however you want.
Great
And with Goyo, it
success.
doesn't matter if you prefer anchoring or roaming because you can do both with him even in the same round. So to talk about this, we have Alex.
Hello, Kaylin.
So let's get to the bottom of
Okay.
who Amaru
Why
is
are
first.
all the
Who is
cool
Amaru?
operators
Right, so
the cool
Amaru
weapons that I
is
like
an operator we really
are
haven't seen before.
freaking
She comes
defenders.
from a civilian
Why?
background, not a traditional
Mhm.
CTU, and she's made it her life's mission to protect her heritage, to fight against
Wait,
traffickers
story
of
time?
antiquities, and this has really been her strong goal.
So someone who's very morally strong and fights for what she believes is right.
Absolutely.
And let's move on then to her gadget first. So do you want to introduce the gadgets for players?
Yeah, of course. So the Gara hook. This is something that she actually made herself, and as you can see, she gets from point A to point B incredibly fast.
Very fast. How fast?
The travel time is about 7.5 meters per second.
And we'll get into that a
how
little bit
fast
later
is
on.
this thing
And so the
available
hook
again?
outside, it works on ledges, skylights, windows,
Look-
and
look at the
inside it
thing.
works on hatches.
Okay,
so
you
she's
can
the
use
very
it
first
twice,
operator
okay.
who can
That's a
ascend
balance.
up through hatches.
Yes, and like Jeremy was saying
Bruh,
before,
it
this kind of
looks
changes
so
things up
glitchy.
now for defenders, whether or not you
Is
have
it
to
Spider-Man?
I think
force those hatches.
at least one
So
one
with so many
YouTuber will
options
find a
of how to
glitch
attack a
that
site with her, what
will
kind of
abuse
player would be
this.
drawn to Amaru?
Someone who really enjoys creativity.
What?
This is the first
What?
operator that's not really based on a role.
So
it's
brain
based
dead.
I
on
mean, but this is
movement. We
going
haven't seen
to
that
change the
before.
mechanics, so you
there's gonna
don't.
be a
Ah,
lot
there's a
of
hedge.
freedom
She
with
can't
that,
go
and I
up,
think players
and
who
then
are
somebody.
very
Yeah, but it's
well
kinda-
accustomed to our
look,
maps will
There
really
is a
enjoy
second.
it.
So creative players, and
She's
again,
on the
it
second
doesn't really
bridge.
matter what operator you go out with because she has synergy with all operators, really.
It's really about playing with your team, making sure that they're droning so that you know where you're going, where you need to be.
So she has the
It'll be
LMG
a
and the
really good
shotgun
team
main.
play operator.
And then
Alright, so let's talk about her
from
loadout.
Mura, the
Starting with her
shotgun, the
primary
secondary,
loadout,
and
Amaru comes with
ah,
either
yeah,
a
here.
Supernova or a G8A1.
Okay.
So a shotgun or an LMG.
She
And
looks
what's
like
interesting
a
about
teacher.
this is that the Supernova
Yeah.
now comes with a silencer
She
attachment,
really does.
and the LMG has an angled foregrip. Now, the silencer, that's not for sneaky
What?
shotgun kills, is it, Alex?
Not really. So for hatches,
Uh-huh.
you have to break them first
Ah,
in
the
order to get at
Supernova.
them.
It's
So the
even not
silencer just
from
Uh,
the
helps
extra.
her be not
Yeah.
announcing her position
Hibana.
as loudly as before.
Claymore.
Yeah,
Okay,
well,
nice.
Having that new angled foregrip means that she can ready the weapon a little bit quicker.
Right, because
That's
she'll
dumb
only be
to make
popping up,
to give
from
her
the hatch,
pre-charges.
maybe
She has
literally
2
on site.
shotguns.
Yep,
And
Main
you don't
and
want
secondary.
To spend a year bringing that gun up to your
Yeah.
chest.
absolutely.
You can easily
Alright, and so for her
take
secondary loadout, she has the option of taking
the-
either a shotgun again,
the
which is
Claymore.
the IDA
And
12S,
open up.
or an SMG, the
Yeah.
SMG 11. And what's great
Yeah,
here
that's
is that
dumb,
even
but-
if you take the LMG for your
Welcome to
primary, you still
Ubisoft.
have the option of taking a shotgun, so that you can still open up hatches, because they have to be opened up in order
Yeah,
to
why
use
do
the
you
Gara
have?
hook on
Do you
them.
need
Right,
pre-charges?
that's our design, is just making
then?
sure that you have some options to play with and that everything fits with her kit.
So her secondary gadget
Yeah,
options
and then you
are
have
either
breaching
breaching
charges.
charges or
This is
claymore.
dumb. So
Claymore
you
is really
Instead of
useful
giving
if you
her
need someone to watch
flashes
your
and
yeah
side.
it's
So
smoke.
if
count
you're
it
sitting
to
around the
like
map,
make a
going through
decision.
hatches, and you're
Like
worried
when-
that a
how
defender
how
might
many
follow you
operators have
through the
smoked?
hatches,
Like 2?
then it's useful to put down a
For example,
claymore to warn
Warden
you
is
of that.
so useless
Right,
because
and if
no
you
one
want the
has
breaching
smokes,
charge,
no
this
one
opens
has
new ways to
flashes
flank,
on
to
them.
move
Yeah.
through
Like
some
2
of
operators.
the
The
jungle
fuck?
of a map to make
Instead
sure
of
that
giving
they
And
can
her-
to
take the
the-
objective quickly.
I mean,
So
she
both
can
of
have
them
2
are good picks
shotguns.
overall.
Why do
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
give her breaching
Alright, so then
charges?
let's
Yeah.
talk about what I'm
It
sure people are
does
waiting
make the
for, and
decision
that is
harder
how
for the
do
player
you
to
counter
choose
Amaru?
between these secondary
And we'll
gadgets.
first touch on the
This
strongest counter
makes
to
no
her,
sense at all.
which is Castle.
Castle,
Oh.
absolutely. He reinforces the windows so that an Amaru can't break it with just her
Yeah,
gadget.
now
She'll
everyone
need
is going
help
to play
from a
Castle.
teammate,
Yeah.
or if she wants to use a breaching
But it's a
charge on it,
good thing
would
to
actually
buff
slow down
cast in a way or
incredibly.
make it more important.
And then after Castle,
make
good
him
picks against Amaru
more
are trap
useful, I
operators.
think.
Yeah, so if the attacking team isn't droning, they're not checking what's beyond that window, what's beyond that hatch, Amaru could get stuck really easily. You just place them underneath those windows.
And then a really strong counter to her is actually just map awareness and sound awareness.
Right, so the design team spent a lot of time with this, making sure that the window is broken so that you can hear her reeling in. It gives a little bit of time for the defenders to anticipate this.
Capcan is also going
And
to be
so
buffed
if
or
you
use
have
more
that
ISO.
one-on-one
Looks
confrontation
so
with an Amaru
fast.
bursting through a window,
I mean, even if it
usually
breaks,
the Amaru
will you
lose
notice it?
70% of the time,
This
just
fast?
because of the noise she makes and the readying time of her weapon.
So she is a very fast operator, as we mentioned, but you do have the ability to hear her when she's coming and do something about it.
Right, so it becomes important for an Amaru player to play smart, not too aggressive, and really use roaming and quick speed to pop up one place and disappear and remove.
I think you
somewhere
should just open
Alright,
up the
let's move on to
window,
the
drone
second
out
operator
if
of the
there is
season then,
anything,
which
and just
is
go in.
Goyo.
Like, why would you
Goyo,
go
Alex?
in without
So
droning?
Goyo has
You can
had
just throw a
bit
drone.
of
Okay.
tragic past. He lost his father and his son, brother at a very young age. So it was his mother who raised him, and his mother's best friend, who actually
His
happened
son
to be
died and
Amaru.
his brother died.
So
Okay.
Amaru took him under her wing, taught him everything he knows, and that's why they have such a close friendship.
Yeah, I don't mean to add to the heat puns, but just looking at the graphics and everything, you can see that there's
Nice.
this like warmth between them and this connection.
Yes, so we'll actually have more to tell about their friendship, and you'll see it more with the CG that we'll be releasing right before the season starts.
All right, let's talk about Goyo's gadget then, which is the Vulcan shield.
Nice.
Right, so he gets 3 of these. These are the new deployable shields that will be dropping in the season as well.
Strap and
He
castle
attaches this
missile, yes,
canister
sure.
that can be triggered by a ballistic or by an explosion, and it's really used to funnel attackers into one choke point, trigger it, and delay as much time as possible.
So let's just touch on a few things about the shield. From the front, it looks like a completely normal deployable shield.
Right, so already you have mind games where the attacking side sees the shield, they have to drone it out to figure out if it is a Goyo shield or not, and then they have to deal with it.
Right, because if you started leaping over it, a defender could shoot.
You'll be in trouble, yeah.
And then, much like Mira's canisters on her black mirrors, if you, well, anyone can shoot it. However, unlike Mira's black mirrors, Twitch drones cannot shoot the explosive on the back of it.
Right, so electricity does not affect it.
Right. So don't think that you're going to be getting
Batteries?
those early
You
phase
need
kills.
That's specifically
bandit.
why the design is made.
Yeah,
it
of course,
doesn't
putting a bandit
Alright,
on
so let's
this
talk
one.
about
Yeah, I
his
would
loadout.
do it.
Goyo
Sure.
has 2 options of very strong guns to pick. He can take either the Vector 45 or the TC-SG-12.
Right. And so the shotgun actually comes with
Yeah,
an
2
ACOG,
shotguns,
which means
and then
he can have
1 shotgun,
very long
1
lines
with
of
front
sight
gate,
in triggering his canisters.
and
And both
Mirage.
weapons actually play well with his ability to either anchor or roam. Because his canisters are deployed
Wait,
by
this
anyone,
is from
he can start out
from
as
whom?
an anchor
From Legion?
and place
Is
those
it
shields, and
Kate's gun?
maybe he can rotate
Yeah.
somewhere else, and
But
the
the
teammate
pistol-
can actually trigger
But the
the
pistol,
shield.
is it from
Right, so that's a really good time to talk
Legion?
about how
Is
with Goyo, you can be an anchor or a roamer with him. And you can make
It's,
that
the
decision
same
mid-game,
fetcher
even
has.
in the exact same
Ah.
round that you're in.
Right, and both his weapons work out super well with that. The Vector is a
These
strong
guys
weapon
in the chat
either
that
way,
type in
however you
trash.
play it, and the shotgun too can be quite versatile.
No
Especially
new
with
guns?
the ACOG, you can use that roaming.
Yes, absolutely.
And then for his secondary loadout, he has a pistol, which is useful for
Sucks,
getting those
uh,
vertical shots on his shield in order
Who
to set it
speed
off.
Echo?
Yep, it's just
Were
a
they not
good
saying that they
default
are not
standby
going to do that
trigger
again?
those shields.
Now for his secondary gadgets, his options are either C4 or impacts. Of course, impacts are great for roaming, but they're also good for setting up good angles on his shields on site, so that either he can hit them or a defender can hit them while he's off site.
Not bad.
Right. So impacts can trigger the shields, and he can be a bit more protected without exposing his location. And then you have C4, which is, again, a great fragging tool that you can have in your kit.
I'm sure some people would never dare take the impacts over the C4.
Yep, and that's totally their choice. How you want to play Goyo is up to you.
Goyo?
So let's talk about his counters then.
Goyo!
Countering Goyo is really
Goyo.
about making the
Goyo.
best use of your utility.
This volcano.
So these
Ah.
operators
Looks
that we're
cool.
seeing now that counter Goyo, like Ash and Zofia, How they counter him is by swapping 1 charge of their gadget for 1 charge of Goyo's gadget. So it's kind of 1 utility for 1 utility. It's not the most cost-effective way, but is a quick option to get rid of the shield.
That's right. If you
I
come
think
across the shield,
clear.
you don't want to be
Nice as a
delaying
main
any time for
Sophia.
your team. So these are 2 great options to quickly deal with it.
And then moving on to kind of a similar counter to Goyo. Using consumables, so using frags to take out the shields, is another way you can get rid of them.
Right, and it means that you don't
Yeah,
have
frag grenades.
to
Who has
rely
frag
on
grenades?
that
Only
app
3
or
operators.
Sophia.
So.
You can have some versatility in dealing with these stalling tactics.
But one of the most cost-effective ways of
That's the
dealing with
situation.
Goyo is on operators like Buck or Sledge,
course.
and then using the charges on their gadget
I think you die
to get
because of the nade, not of the
on Goyo's shield,
flame thing.
and then just shooting it.
Yeah, and this becomes really important for a good Goyo player to make sure they're placing these shields in places that you can't get those line of sight.
Yes, let's just
perfectly. You can't
little
destroy the floors
too,
and then get that nice angle on
risky.
it.
And of course, just anyone shooting it with a bullet is very cost-effective.
That will absolutely do it.
Yeah,
So
that's
that
clear.
is the first look at both Amaru and Goyo. Both of these operators will also be available to play starting tomorrow, Monday, August 19th on the test server.
On the toss
And now we're going to talk about
GG.
other upcoming
So
features
it
of the
comes on
season.
2
More
weeks
with
later.
Alex.
1 week
Yeah,
later.
and we have a lot of them.
Yes, there are a lot. We'll start with player behavior changes first, though.
Right, so the player behavior team has been working really hard on some quick fixes that actually really improve the game. So at the start of the
please,
season, what
nothing
you'll see
dumb.
is leaving escalation penalties. So if somebody's been leaving quite frequently, we'll step up the penalty that's applied to them.
Shit.
And it should encourage players to not leave intentionally. On top of that, we also have, we'll be detecting if somebody is AFK at the start of the prep phase, and if they have the diffuser, they'll actually drop it automatically at the start of the round.
Yeah, and what?
That way you don't have to team kill to get that diffuser on your team. Then, during Season 3, we'll be introducing a couple more changes, which is squads and reverse friendly fire. So, we know we've been listening to the community feedback. Reverse friendly fire has been working really well, but there is this failing where squads can team up on one individual player. They can pick on them, and they don't get a sanction applied. So now we'll be talking about the squad as a total. We'll be getting that reverse friendly fire sanction as a group.
So it's especially appreciated if
Wow.
you're someone who solo queues a lot.
Bruh.
Yeah, these are really small changes that make a big difference.
And now let's talk about
solo
upcoming
queue.
changes to the playlists.
Yes, so we started last season with a lot of changes for ranked, and that's really our end game content. We want players to be playing ranked playlists.
But this
It's the
won't-
most
won't do
rewarding, it's the most
anything, but-
competitive, and we
Yeah.
want to make sure that we help players get to that content. So one of the changes we're making right now is introducing a new rank called the Champions rank. This is above Diamond tier, above 5,000 MMR. Anybody who reaches above this
Oh, shit.
will be assigned a number, and they'll be
Oh, shit.
compared to other players who have the same rank.
What? Nice.
Then, we're talking about rank
But-
distribution. We've changed it up a bit. You'll see the bell curve now lies a little bit closer to the silver, and we've added more ranks at the lower tiers. This way, you'll be progressing a little bit more steadily, and it means that gold is a
Tomorrow
little
I'm
bit
going to
more
make a
important
video
now
about
when
it.
you achieve that rank. We have a change to the map pools that I know people will be excited about. So for ranked, we're actually reducing
So
the
there is
size
no
of the map
gold
pools.
4 anymore.
We're taking out Hereford, Theme
Frick.
Park, and Fortress, and we're adding the new
Oh.
rework.
Oh
and
yes.
You'll also see
Oh yes.
casual
Not
will be
console.
reduced a little
No
bit
Hereford,
more,
no Theme
just so
Park,
that
no
it's easier
Fortress.
to learn the maps that
Hallelujah.
you're playing, and you're well aware of what you need to do.
Yeah, so hopefully this will reduce the entry barrier to Siege, because a lot of people coming into Siege will get overwhelmed by how many maps there are. Even for people who are already playing, now you can focus on learning and mastering less maps.
Right, and these are going to be our most competitive maps that we're listening to the community for. So it should help out a lot. And then one last thing to announce is a new playlist that's coming to Siege, which is the unranked playlist. This is ranked rules without all of the stress of actually playing ranked. So you have this in casual and ranked that players
Clapping,
can
clapping.
progress through and feel confident in when they want to play ranked.
So this is especially useful for people who really suffer from ladder anxiety.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so we are also going to announce that Siege is getting a battle pass.
Ah, okay. They had already about those.
Thanks,
Six
guys.
Siege
Thanks.
is getting
That's
a
what we
battle
needed.
pass. In year 4, the
They had
battle
already-
pass will be
Shut
deployed
up.
in 2 phases.
Shut up, please.
Phase 1 is the mini battle pass, named
Idiots.
Call Me Harry.
No.
It'll be short, 7 days and 7 tiers, and completely
Whoa.
free.
Oh.
As you play,
Oh.
you earn battle
We had
points
already
that
a
unlock tiers
season
and
pass
rewards.
slash
So the more
battle
you
pass.
play, the more you
Yeah.
earn.
This is
Upon
so
completing the pass,
dumb.
you'll receive
No
the
one
unique
needs this
Harry
shit.
Chibi charm.
Please.
Call Me Harry will be available during Operation Ember Rise. Phase 2 is coming in Season 4 this year. It'll be a full-fledged battle pass. Here's
Battle
how
pass,
it'll work.
why?
There will be 2 tracks, a free track
To
and
get
an optional
money.
premium track. You progress through both tracks
Nice.
by playing and earning battle
That's what we
points.
needed.
Even if you choose not to unlock the
Oh,
premium track,
guys.
you'll still be able to collect rewards on the free track. So while the battle pass is active,
Booster,
everyone
I
gets
do it
more
only for the
rewards
booster.
playing.
I'm going to buy it.
Finally,
Never
through
mind.
the battle pass, you will get to
Yeah,
learn
I'm going-
more about
of course
Harry
you're
and the
going to
operators
buy
of
it, but-
Rainbow Six.
The heck, you idiots.
Why
tell
do
us
they
why
do
Siege
that?
is getting a
Just
battle
suck
pass.
So,
money out
the
of
battle pass
players.
that we're developing is a new monetization product, but it is also important for us to bring players back, that they're excited to come back, get rewarded, and we want to make sure then
But-
that the battle pass is something that's generous, something that's fair.
We want to make
And
sure
it's
that
also
we are
our
like
way of
Apex,
injecting more
Fortnite, and
story
every
now
other
into
game
the Rainbow
today.
Six
We have to
universe.
add. No,
And
they
why are there
could
two
have changed it
phases
or
of
do it in
battle
another way. No.
This is something we've never done before, so we want to make
Just
sure we do it
upgrading
right.
the year
So
pass?
Season 3, we have the smaller
Free.
mini battle pass. That'll be free. That way we get feedback, we can test it out technically to make sure it works. And then Season 4, we open it up. It's a full battle pass with more tiers, more cosmetics that you can actually get rewarded for, and a bigger story that we're telling.
And the video also said that while the pass is active, you get more for playing. What
So
does
first
this
you have
mean
to.
exactly?
It's.
So we always want
it's
to make sure that
free.
the battle pass is inclusive.
The
so
first
even
one,
if
yeah.
you don't buy into the premium
But it's only
tiers,
7 days
you're
that you
still
get
getting
for free.
rewarded for all of the time that you're putting into the game.
But
And
it's only
there's character
good.
lore
Why?
that's
You know
tied to
why?
this.
Because
Right.
I
So
play
this
so
is
much
something that's
Rainbow Six
really
Siege.
exciting. The pass will
That's good.
come
That's-
with
that's a good point.
descriptions and stories about
That's
our
nice.
operators, about
That's nice.
the actual
I mean,
cosmetics that
but
you win.
why
Season 4
there's-
actually will
there's
have a motion
comics
comic too
art
that'll
thing.
set up a prologue that will talk more about
Boy,
SI 2020.
look at this.
Well, thank you
Lips.
so much, both Alex and Jeremy, for coming
But
and talking about
I
the
know I
upcoming
like
season.
the idea behind
Pleasure.
it.
Absolutely welcome.
To
Jackedy
And we're
Jacks.
not
You
done
get
yet,
more
because we have
information
an
about the
announcement from the
operators.
esports team.
Yeah.
face thing is nice.
Please a great G2 skin.
Fantastic, yeah. Please tease them. Oh yeah, kinda good.
Oh. Oh.
No TSM. GG. This Cloud9 thing also looks nice. With the tattoo.
Now to talk about the pilot program is Stuart, a manager from the esports team.
Thanks a lot for having me. We're super proud to announce phase 2 of the pilot program and its
If there
member
was
teams
bit
today.
this one
So
Operation
Stuart,
Health
tell me,
guy.
who is in the pilot program?
In North America, we have Evil Geniuses and Rogue returning, joined by Space Station Gaming. In Latin America, we have Team Liquid, FaZe Clan, the newly christened MIBR, and INTZ Esports. In Europe, we have Penta returning, with G2, Natus Vincer, and Team Empire joining the fold. And over in APAC, we've got Cloud9, Norarengo, and Fnatic.
And what is the overall goal behind the pilot program?
We want to extend our support to all of the organizations and players within the top level of our community to make Rainbow Six esports a viable career path for as many people as possible.
What's changed between this version of the pilot program and the previous version that we saw before?
So scope and scale for starters. We wanted to expand the number of teams we support. We wanted to support players directly through this, and we changed up a couple of the revenue sharing mechanics as well.
So let's get down to the brass tacks. We saw the pro team skins. How does the revenue share for this work?
That one's pretty straightforward. It's a 70-30 split between Ubisoft and the team respectively. 30% of those revenues that a team makes are also forwarded to their players.
And the Pro League Gold skins, are we still going to be seeing those?
Of course, they are a staple of the pilot program these days. We've tweaked it a bit from version 1 of the pilot program. Now in phase 2, it's a 70-30 split evenly as opposed to a 70-21-9. This is to account for the increased number of teams in the pilot program itself so we can support more.
And how does the Road to 6 Invitational tie into the pilot program?
So this one's a bit different this time around. So beyond just contributing to the 6 Invitational prize pool, we've added a mechanic that acts as a performance incentive for our pilot program member teams. Basically how it'll work, imagine a hypothetical scenario where you're the only team participating in 6 Invitational. So base prize pool is 500 grand. You get 1.5 million from the crowdfunding from Road to 6 Invitational. As the only member team there, the players would take home 1.25 million. The org would get 750,000 of that.
Thank you very much, Stuart, for explaining that to us. And does the esports team have anything else to announce?
We do. We're super happy to announce that our Pro League Season 10 finals are sold out. We have over 4,000 fans going to join us in Tokonami, Japan. Huge thank you to our Japanese community for coming out in force and making this one of the best events.
And of course, to close the panel out, we will now reveal the next elite skin.
Yeah,
Welcome to the club,
a mock
Mira.
exam or something like that.
Yeah.
Please tell us. An elite. An elite. No. Looks better than...
Looks better than some elites, but the face is still kind of strange.
Okay. Please, Ella. Ella elite.
They're only going to make one.
That was the first look at Operation Ember Rise. Thank you, Raleigh. Everything here will be playable starting tomorrow, once again on the test server, Monday, August 19th. Don't forget that date. And stay tuned, because the grand finals between G2 and Team Empire will be coming up right after this.
Why are they looking so strange, dude?
He's like... from down the ground.
Smiling so weird.
Yeah.
All right, everyone. How you feeling,
This one is
Raleigh?
from Fortnite.